All right, it looks like we're recording. So we're here at Mothers Illuminated, where we help light up the pathway to motherhood. And we're starting a whole segment about mom entrepreneurship. So I'm here with Hema Priya, and she's going to kind of tell us her journey. So I'd like you to kind of tell the audience a little bit about what you do and kind of how you ended up getting there.
Yeah, so I'm a doctor by profession. And after my kids were born, I couldn't go to medical practice because it was too hectic. So I was a stay-at-home mom after my first son was born. Then I didn't do anything. But after my second daughter was born, it was very difficult for me to stay at home. So I started a blog called My Little Moped, which grew into my e-commerce business as of today. And it's one of my e-commerce business, has done more than 2 million sales until now. And I do have another two e-commerce businesses, one in decor and one in wellness. And now I have started coaching e-commerce entrepreneurs like how to grow their business, how to scale their business with motherhood in place. So it's very difficult when we are alone as a mother, being at home, working on our business. We don't have any support at all. So I wanted to help those mom entrepreneurs grow their business because I've been in this e-commerce space for the last 10 years and have seen all the growth from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. I've seen everything and I have grown my business also. So now I'm teaching other entrepreneurs, mom entrepreneurs, to grow and scale their e-commerce business.
Wow. You know, it's funny. So I know like drop shipping and e-commerce is one of the things that people talk about, quite often in terms of starting your own business and being able to scale it. But a lot of people don't have success with it. They start it and they struggle and they can't get sales or they end up spending more money in ads than they're able to sell.
Yes.
So what are some of the common problems that you see like with mom entrepreneurs or anybody really that's just trying to start a drop shipping or an e-commerce type of business?
Yeah, so I've been seeing a pattern now. People start a e-commerce business with so much of passion. They want to do something for the world and they start the business. But when they come into the business, it's like a whole new territory for them. They start initially with a good sales, but then slowly the marketing pulls them in. They go into the lure of the marketing by doing paid ads, which is a vicious cycle. So you put money into the ads, you get the sales. If you don't put money, then there is no sales. And you know how ads glitch and everything. So at the end, they just get frustrated and they just leave off. And that's a cycle that I'm seeing in a lot of mom entrepreneurs because they have a family to take care of also. They have small children. They get frustrated that their business is not going well. So it's like a cycle. Putting in money into the ads is like a vicious cycle. And I sincerely ask all the moms, all the entrepreneurs, not to put money into the Facebook ads or Google ads initially. Start with organic marketing, grow your business slowly but sustainably. That's what we need. We are not here for figures, like vanity figures. Sales are just vanity figures. You don't get much of peace with them. So start slow, start organic. Then after a certain point, we can scale with ads.
Yeah. Is there any specific platform that you think performs the best for organic in terms of e-commerce?
In terms of e-commerce, it's just looking into where your ideal audience is hanging out. Like your ideal audience may be in Instagram, but you are marketing in Facebook, or they may be in TikTok, you are marketing in Instagram. So just use one platform well, go deep into it, and do as much as you can in that.
Yeah. And so you said you have a few different e-commerce stores. So you said you have a wellness one, and then what was the other one?
It's a decor, vintage decor.
Oh, okay. So so what kind of numbers, if you don't mind kind of giving some people a little bit of hope, what kind of numbers can you get with an e-commerce store? I mean,
initially it will start very low. Like I started with zero, as everyone does it. But if you do sustainably, then at least by the end of 1 year, you can come to around 10,000 per month in your e-commerce business. Plus, you put in the efforts. The problem is people don't put in the efforts. The efforts should be consistent. They do something, they think that there is no result, they jump to the next platform. So choose one platform. I would tell choose one social media platform and choose SEO. Those two will definitely give the exposure that they need. And easily you can make $10,000 a month within 1 year, at least, if they are
Wow.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's awesome because I think like that 10,000 seems to be the number that a lot of people are going for. You know, it's like getting $10,000 a month would transform anybody's life. And so when you say like really going deep and putting in the effort, how much time out of the day would you say should be dedicated to this?
See, with the advent of AI, you don't even have to put so much of hours. Like you can get the Instagram content planned easily before, and the SEO, you just have to go in at least 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week is enough for SEO. So with the AI, it's super easy. Like you just tell ChatGPT, this is my brand, and train ChatGPT to talk like your brand, and everything is done. So you just add some personalization here and there. It's easy now. Rather than when I started, I used to write a blog for 5 to 6 days. One blog takes me 5 to 6 days to write. Now it's not so difficult.
So is the blog the strategy for the SEO that you're doing?
Yeah. So we are getting around 2 lakh visitors every month now. It used to be 6 lakh visitors a month, but due to Google updates, it slowly got down, but we were able to pick it up. Those convert the best for me because they trust a blog when we give them information.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because I hear all the time, like, it's 2024, should we still do blogging? And I think like, absolutely, because it builds to the SEO and it creates more traffic to that general page, which can help you get more people onto the site.
Yeah.
But then also you can put in links to those blogs, like in the blogs themselves, you can put links to specific products that you might be promoting. So there's so much opportunity there to be able to promote in a different way. And then tell me a little bit about how, like, because like I do marketing, right? So I own a marketing agency. And so I understand a little bit, you know, about how all of that works. And a lot of like the SEO stuff is really about keywords, right? What are people actually searching up? Because you want your stuff to pop up when they search. So when people are trying to come up with like content for their blogs, what type of things should they write about? I like using Google Trends. That's kind of one of my favorite things to look at in terms of figuring out keywords. What kind of tools do you use?
I use Google Trends and Ubersuggest. So I go in there and put my niche keywords and search for the long tail keywords. And I search for their difficulty, their volume. I choose a long tail keyword that has at least a medium volume search, and it's not so difficult. So for newbies, what I would suggest is go to your competitor websites. I mean, in Ubersuggest, we can do that. Check what keywords they are ranking for and create a blog in a different, in a different manner from them with the same keyword. So that might be a starting point so that we can get some SEO juice into our blog.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that because it helps them like and kind of take the guesswork out of it. One of the things I always tell my clients is like, don't reinvent the wheel. There are so many people that are successful out there. Learn from them, and you can cut off so much time and resources, you know? And so when you're building all this content, like, you know, SEO, blogs are great for SEO, but when you're also looking at, you know, like content for these different platforms, YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, like what do you find is the best type of stuff to kind of help promote, you know, a product? Because a lot of times, you know, it's easy to promote yourself as like a personal brand. You know, influencer marketing is huge right now. And so just kind of promoting yourself as a personal brand to get that following, and then you promote products. But when you're trying to do an e-commerce store, I would imagine being an e-commerce store and promoting a personal brand might not work in the same juice. So how would you do that?
So what I usually suggest my clients, and I do it for myself, is we do a survey to our ideal audience. We capture their pain point in their own language. Like, for example, if for my kids' food store, everybody will tell my toddler is fussy. He's not eating anything at all. We put that same line into our content and give them a solution. So you don't have to actually keep promoting your products. Give the solutions for the pain points that your customers are looking for. So when we delve in deeper in that itself will give you so much of content to post in Instagram, YouTube, and everything. And that's what we have also been consistently using in my brand. We are around now 168K. We had so many reels go viral only because of this. We focus only on the customers' pain points and give them solutions. And we indirectly promote our products for that.
I love that. Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
have been saying that. It's funny because I've been learning so much, and you know the path to entrepreneur, you're never stop learning. You're always learning
Yes.
and growing. And
Yeah.
recently that's been a huge thing that keeps kind of coming up, which is, offer the solution, over deliver, give it all away for free.
Yes.
And
Yes.
ultimately, you'll just draw in all of that attention. People just want to
Yes.
be around you. They want to promote you. They want
Yeah.
to, pay for additional services. You'll be the first person. And so just kind of like giving it all, putting the information out there,
Yeah.
being the solutions to it.
Yes.
And when you're promoting, when you're going into groups, instead of just dropping links to your stuff,
Yeah.
saying, hey, look, like this is what I did. That's helpful. You don't even have to promote your stuff, but people will get curious and they'll click on who you are. And then if you
Yeah.
have your information in the bio, they'll click to see what you're
Yeah.
selling. And
Yeah.
that is such a powerful tool, and just
Yes.
building up that reputation for yourself,
Yes.
So when
Yeah.
you do that, so when you promote your e-commerce, are you promoting it on your personal brand? Is it like a video of, you talking, or how do you do that?
For my kids' food business, I talk telling them solutions for common problems, like not only food, we also deal with everything. Like we tell them, if your baby has fever, what you can do at home. So everything. So we get around 200 to 250 queries every day on our Instagram. So we have a database of queries. So we keep on taking those queries and answering them in our content.
Yeah.
And if we are giving helpful content, then 30% is promotional content indirectly. So we tell them, during fever, you can give this food, you can give this porridge. So you can buy this porridge from us indirectly.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what would you say to a mom who may look at this and say, this is all great, but like, I don't know how to film. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to film myself. How do I make this great content?
Just keep your phone on your laptop like in this, and just keep talking. It is very difficult to start taking reels initially. I had that problem. I was so self-conscious. It was so difficult. But once only you have to take the first step ahead. First, you just take one video, then that's done. So you will get the confidence slowly. It's not just overnight you'll get the confidence. So it will take some time.
Yeah.
But you have to start doing it. Unless we start doing it, no one can help us.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. This is something that I always tell people too, because I think a lot of times, you want stuff to come easy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm putting in all this effort. And this is another thing that comes up a lot too, where it's like, especially in entrepreneurship, where it's like in the beginning, when you first start, you're always busy, but you're not making
Yes.
money. Like you're always busy, and then you're not succeeding. And it's because
Yeah.
you don't know like what to focus on, and you're not doing the things that give you leverage to make the money. Right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so, yeah, and it's just like breaking it. And I think another thing too is a lot of times I feel like we know we know deeply what we need to do to make our business successful, but we just don't do it because either we think it's boring, or we're scared to do it, or whatever it is, where it's like, if you would just do it, you could learn, then you wouldn't
Yeah.
have to be scared. You wouldn't
Yeah.
find it super boring. Maybe you might actually enjoy it,
Yeah.
and you can build your business that way. And
Yeah.
how would you recommend? So, as a mom, like I have 4 small children. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 17-month-old, and a 3-month-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And my 3-month-old is sleeping, and my other 3 are in the other room playing. And I have my 17-month-old in one of those jumpers, so at least she's safe and contained while I'm doing this.
Okay, that's
So- And that's kind of my setup when I do video stuff. I kind of like distract the 3 oldest and then put the baby down for a nap, and that's when I find my time to like do videos. But everybody kind of has to figure out like what works for them, because obviously every family dynamic is different. So
Yeah.
what would you say for like a mom who's struggling and says, I don't even know how I would find the time to record,
So nowadays, you don't have to.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you don't have to be. You can just be in your kitchen and film the video. No one wants perfect videos nowadays.
Yeah.
So you can just keep your phone, just keep cooking and take the video. You
Yeah.
want to go and
Yeah.
see?
What was that?
No, you want to go and see? I'll wait here.
Yeah, I might have to. It's my 3-year-old. See, this is, I want all mom entrepreneurs who are seeing this to understand that we all go through it.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yes.
yes. Let me just take a small break real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And we are back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. So see, this is, I think, a great learning lesson because I think a lot of people, especially moms, I'm not even going to edit this out because I want them to see that like this happens to all of us. And, when we're filming content, a lot of times it's like film a little piece here and then you shuffle away children, film the next piece, shuffle away children. And it's totally normal. And I think like this is kind of why I think the whole mompreneur mindset has really blossomed and just like differentiating mom entrepreneurs from just everybody else. And I think the reason for that is because we have like unique struggles that typical entrepreneurs are just not going to have, and that's why I think like podcasts like this are just so valuable, where we can actually talk about like the real struggles of what's going on and how to overcome them. And so I think like, this is a great like learning lesson right now, just for moms who are listening, because, you just got to kind of try and push through it. And we do have our own unique struggles. And yes, it's hard, but, you just have to if you want to get to the other side of that. Right.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, you're a mom entrepreneur as well. How old are your kids?
My kids are grown up now, 14 and 10. When I started my business, my second one was just 1 month old. So now they have grown up, but even now we have struggled. So I need to go and give them dinner so that it's a school night. We have to sleep early. Either I give them dinner and then come back for the any meetings or any work. So
yeah. And what is a typical day? So, for you personally, what does like a typical day look like for you?
So I get up at 5:30, then the kids go to school by 8 a.m. Then sometime for me, then we have a manufacturing unit for the food thing. We have around 50 employees there working. So I go there 10 o'clock, come back 2 o'clock, then lunch, then the kids come, then there is no time for anything else. So
once the kids are back, it's all bets off, right?
So
how many hours? So you get there around what, like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. until 2 p.m. I'll be working there. Then even that, sometimes if I have to go to school for something, if I have to go for some shopping, I do it in that time. And then afternoon I have a lunch, take some break. Then the kids come at 3:30. Then it's like one kid comes, I do everything, then the other kid comes, I do everything, then it's
Yes, I understand that struggle. So we have a similar morning routine. Our morning routine goes until about 10 a.m., but it's just like, that's what we got to do to get everybody set up for the day so that they can go do their things and I can get what I need done. But so you work, I mean, generally around 4 hours a day then.
Yeah. Now I have system, teams, everything in place. So I don't have to work every hour there. My team takes care of everything. So I just need to go in and input things whenever is needed. And now that I'm coaching and having clients, I get on client calls with them. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I've, and I think this is worth talking about because, as a mom entrepreneur, especially depending on how much you want to grow, right? I think everybody has their own income goals. For some moms, it's literally just a few extra $100 a month, which you can make pretty easily with very little time. But for some moms, they're really looking to like retire their husband, be the, and really make changes in their family. And so I think it kind of depends on their income goals, but, to make a lot of money, you got to work a lot, you know what I mean? And even to make a little bit of money, you still have to work a pretty decent amount because you're chasing clients, you have to deliver, you have to set up your systems, you have to do all these different things. And you have to constantly learn in order to improve those systems. And I think like learning about some of the automations, like how do you automate, like obviously you have a team, but before you had a team, you were kind of doing it all. So did you have different automations in place? Like what was the system that you set up to make sure that you could do everything, but still have time with your family, especially since your family was a lot younger then?
Yes. So when I started, it was 2014. There was not too much of AI then, not too much of automations then. MailChimp was there then, that time itself. So I used that as a lead magnet tool. Our one ebook, it's a free ebook, recipe ebook. It has been downloaded more than 2 lakh times until now. So that was my lead magnet that generated so much of sales. It was a free, but it indirectly promotes my products. So I set one flow in that, and constantly until now it has been generating sales. So email automation is a must for anyone who's just starting out also. Then I think it might be customer care support automation. Now there are so many tools available, so they can easily do. But when I started just with email automation only. And that itself helped me so much. Like automated responses for customers' queries and everything. So that time that was only possible, and I did that. But now there is so much possible nowadays.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that. So we do an email automation also. And we have our lead magnet, which is again a freebie type of thing. That's a very common tactic. And so I mean, I think that's a great tool. You typically have a freebie that's something that your target audience, usually want it to be something that's like kind of at the beginning of their sales journey, right? You don't want them to be like ready to buy, but at that beginning journey, and just kind of put it out there to get them in, and then you just nurture them. And how often do you send out emails to your email list?
Every week.
Every week, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say we send,
I have around 1 lakh subscribers, but now with a lot of Yahoo and Gmail things, we don't send it to everyone. We actually divide them into segments, like according to their buying behavior, and then send campaigns especially for them now. But previously I used to send for everyone.
Yeah. So and I would recommend anybody who's starting out, just send to everyone, and eventually you'll start to segment them out and, and come up with that. And then setting up those automations too, like you said, that's crucial. So when they visit the store, having it set up to like send them something. Oh, you put something in your cart. Do you want to check out with it? Do you want, it looks like you were looking at this item, here's some suggestions that you might also enjoy. And kind of setting up those automations, I think is really important too. So I agree there. And I think a lot of people, like, it's funny because I talk about email marketing all the time. Most successful business owners talk about email marketing. But when you talk to people who are just starting out, that always comes off as the biggest surprise to them. And it just, it cracks me up because it's like it's the best return on investment you will have.
You know, exactly.
And you own that audience, which is so powerful because at any time, especially nowadays, anybody can get, demonetized or taken off of a platform for who knows what reason, and then there goes all of your traffic and everything you've worked so hard for. So funneling those people into an email campaign that you own and you have access to and you can always reach out to is amazing. And then the other side to that is, so we actually I send out daily emails. I send out emails every single day to my people. It takes me like 10 minutes. I literally, it's like the first thing I do in my morning with my work. Like after I've taken care of all the kids, I hop on and start going away at my email. And what we do, so I obviously I coach moms on how to make money at home, but I also offer marketing services as well. And so our emails are generally about if you're a mom who wants to make money, here's some things that we can do, or here's a tip for the day, or, something that they might want to look into. And most of the time, it's funny because I was initially thinking, I'm going to lose so much. Like, how do I send an email every single day? People are going to unsubscribe. But I was told this by someone else, and she's making $80,000 a month. And so I was like, well, she must know her stuff, right? So I'm going to put my ego aside and try it. I got to tell you, I have a 30 to 50% open rate with my emails.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right.
Daily
and I'm sending
email?
every single day. And my
Yeah.
unsubscribe rate is less than 1%. So like, just if you pump out, like, I want to kind of drive that home because I think some people would look at this and be like, that's like insane, because how many people want to get emailed every day? You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people get really annoyed with that. And so,
Yeah.
but if you think of it from the perspective of, my emails do not sound salesy, right? They when I send emails, it's almost like talking to a friend. It's like, hey, like, this is like, my silly kids did this and it was hilarious. And, you know,
Okay.
here's, like, I was talking to a client and this was an issue they were having, and here's how we solved it. And here's some links to some of the tools that we looked at. And, you know, so it's like providing value, but it's,
Yes.
yeah.
I couldn't believe I have not sent like that, because in e-commerce, it's very difficult to send every day. It'll be like pitching. But for coaching, I think I should also adopt this and try it for my audience.
Yeah, it's really helpful because it's almost like you're coaching them in the emails, right?
Oh.
And so in a way, you're getting people that are like building that trust, like they get excited about opening your emails, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, when you send emails every day, this was another thing that she had mentioned, which was brilliant to me, which was, when you send emails every day, it gives you lots of opportunity to test. So you can, you know, because just the mass amount, you can test, you know, headlines, you can test concepts, you can test new product ideas. You know, you can do all of that by putting it out there and seeing how many people click the links, how many people, you know, are actually showing interest, how many people go and sign up for something. And so you can test things before you put the money and the time and effort into actually doing something, right? So
that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, so there's so many different benefits to an email list. Like, I want to put that out there because I think a lot of people overlook that. Like, there's so many benefits. You can, you know, you can have really good open rates if you've got a large email list. Like, if you have a good lead magnet that's getting people in the door. And the lead magnet should not only be something that people want, right? Because they want to get it, but also it should be something that your ideal target audience wants, right? Yes. Because you don't just want 10,000 random people in your email list. You want 10,000 people who probably would want to buy from you, you know?
It's like nurturing.
So yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely love that. And so you do like wellness, like obviously that's one of your companies, and you know, we talked a bit about that. So I guess we'll kind of run with that one. What's the platform that you have found to be the most successful for that? Because I know a lot of moms also kind of end up in a wellness space as well.
Yes, lots of moms in wellness space. Like, wellness is the super crowded, super competitive space. So in wellness also, Instagram didn't work for us. It was just, we just have 3,000. While in my kids' food space, I have 164K. Wellness, I just have 3,000. So wellness, what works, we found, was blogs, because there is no specified information on things, because there are so many blogs that are not trustable. So when you come up with tried and tested solutions, it works out really great. And also, like, challenges. Like, you bring those moms, or you bring your audience into a Facebook group and run skincare challenge or anything. We had a challenge like glow challenge. So in that, we tell them some routines, some things that can help them glow their face without any chemicals or something like that. It's totally natural. We give them a face pack at the end of, we give our products, we send them our products and tell them, in this 1 month glow challenge, you will have to use our product also. And also, we'll be giving you a lot of yoga, face yoga, all those things. People simply love that. So that is a good thing to do for wellness, because the market is simply overcrowded. There are so many people doing, but you know, the audience, the customers are jumping from one wellness to other wellness. They're not sticking to one thing. So we make them stick at least 1 month to our own product and show them the difference. We had splendid response for that.
Yeah. And I love that because it goes back to the whole like giving it all away, right?
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, you know, especially if you're in the mindset of like, oh, I need money, you come from a
Yeah.
scarcity mindset, which is like, I can't give everything away because then people won't pay me. But the
Yeah.
opposite is true. The more you give it away, the more people, you know, want, because then they're exposed to it, right? They know how good you are and then they want more. And so
Yeah.
I absolutely love that, doing a challenge where you give away the products, they use it, and I'm willing to bet a good percentage of them continue to buy after that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We
Do you know
give them
like what that percentage is?
we had around 300 people enter the challenge. They get
Yeah.
the product for 50% off and they enter the
Yeah.
challenge. And after that, we had around 125 or some following
Wow.
it up for more than 6 months. Until 6 months, we had around 200 people. So it's difficult for people also to follow something for a long time, but we need to keep them engaged. So we
Yeah.
ask them to come back to the challenge again after 6 months. So they come back, they get reintroduced. The challenge is very good because daily you get one task that that is self-care for them. They do a task that is caring for themselves, so they feel good. So wellness
Yeah.
very difficult, but this is one method that we found was working very good for our brand actually.
Yeah. And I love that too, tracking kind of like how long these customers are continuing to buy for. Is 6 months about your lifetime value with the client? Is that about like how long they typically, you know, continue to buy from you, or just with the
Usually,
challenges?
just for the challenges. Usually
Yeah.
it's 3 months because our wellness products are powder form. They don't have any chemicals added in that, and they're ancient Indian recipes. So they're all in powder form. So for a modern woman, using a powder on hair and face and body is very difficult. But
Yeah.
so it's usually 3 months. But with the challenge, we were able to extend it to 6 months more, 6 months and more.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because they know that it's actually helping their skin glow. They know that it really works. If they buy and just use it for few or like 10 days, they'll feel that it is all making the bathroom dirty and everything. So they won't stick to that. But in the challenge, we guide them daily to use that. They see the transformation, and that gives them the willpower to take it and do that.
Yeah, I love that. Have you thought about doing like once they purchase a product, maybe they get like a video series that comes into their email that maybe like walks them through almost like a personalized, you know, challenge, so to speak. Maybe they get like
Yeah.
a video series that comes in and you guys, it could be like an evergreen content, right? And so every time someone buys a product, they get a video series every single day or something for a
Yeah.
month, whatever it is. And that way they sort of get their own. I wonder if that would extend the value of them continuing to buy. Have you guys tried something like that?
We have tried initially sending them a few emails like how to use the product videos and everything. The problem is when they engage in a group in WhatsApp or Facebook, the energy is different. When they
Yeah.
engage in email, they just see it, okay, that's it. They don't take it too much. But when in a group, they feel motivated because others are sharing their wins.
Yeah.
So they feel motivated. So we stopped doing like that, and we started pushing them to come into our challenges. We showed the transformation of the previous customers, and that pulls them into the challenge. So that
Yeah.
really worked. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I love that because it's so true. Like community really does make a huge
Yes.
difference with the vibe and the energy and just the excitement.
Yeah.
So actually it's funny because I have a membership, right? That's
Yeah.
very affordable. The links will be in the description and everything. But I found that the community aspect of that membership, like we meet once a week in video calls and kind of talk through. It's basically like a group coaching / networking session. You know, and just having that community in there where people can talk and answer questions throughout the week as well is so valuable. So I agree, like that group environment is really important because and you see that a lot of times on like these Facebook groups where people, they get a group together, and the more engaging you can be, the more people are like die hard about the brand, right? So I totally see that, where having that kind of, you know, group community around these challenges where people are supporting each other and they're getting that constant validation and feedback of posting the pictures of their new glowy face and, all of that stuff. Yeah. And it's funny because as like an entrepreneur, it's like your mind is always spinning of how can I improve systems? And I recently watched a podcast with Evelyn Weiss, who I'm learning from, and she's absolutely brilliant. She makes, $80,000 a month. She actually makes more than that, but that's just off of one of her memberships. She makes almost $300,000 a month. And she is a low ticket coach, which is amazing. How can you make that much money as a low ticket coach? And she just gives it all out. But it's also that community aspect, right? It's that community of like, people just helping each other and creating like that family of people who want to help you. And that's really where like a lot of that magic happens, because people really want to feel that connection. They get that dopamine rush every time they get a like or every time they get, and so kind of feeding into that and finding out how you can improve your business from there. And also knowing that even people at her level, like she was saying that, you think that eventually you get to a point where like the business just runs and everything's super easy. But it's like the whole goal, like the whole thing about entrepreneurship is you're constantly looking at things and saying, this is not working right. Let's fix this, or this could be better. Fix this. And you're constantly working. So if you have a 3-month, window where these people are continuously buying from you, what's the, I'm assuming you guys have a really good like LTV to CAC ratio because you would have to, right? And so, but if you look at that, like, getting them re-engaged is such a great tactic where it's like, okay, we know that they're going to do this for about 6 months. Let's host an event every 6 months to get them re-going and get them re-excited. So it not only gets new people in the door, but it also can kind of help refresh that old people to kind of help see if you can extend the lifetime value of them. Right. So I absolutely love that. And then, so how have your kids kind of, growing up in this type of an environment, do you feel like it's made an impact on your kids?
Yeah, definitely. They keep on popping suggestions like how to improve, use this new flavor. We keep on trying at home. You should market this, add chocolate to your drink. It's so good. They will, they will give me lots of suggestions. So
I love that.
Your kids, like 4 kids, they're going to be awesome, I guess. They're going to be all entrepreneurs.
Yeah, they're a bit young. It's actually funny because my oldest is 5 and she's very gift driven. We'll put it that way. I don't know if you've heard of like they say it's like the different love languages, so how people perceive and give love. And one of them is gifts. And so it's not a materialistic thing. It's more just like they feel loved when people give them things. And they give love by trying to give things. So it's really funny. She's very driven that way. And so she wants a lot of stuff. Like it's so to me, she's like, oh, look at that toy. Like, Mom, we should get that. And I'm like, no, you don't need more toys. And so now what I've started telling her is, you get toys on your birthday, on Christmas, on these different holidays. Like that's when you get gifts. If you want something beyond that, like you need to buy it yourself. And so she has taken up soap making. So I'm like,
small age soap making. Yes.
So will they have like the easy like melt and pour soaps that you can get from Amazon? You know what I mean? So we do that. We just buy the brick of soap and then I cut it up and help her like melt it on the stove. And then, she'll add in whatever color she wants and the smells that she wants. And then we kind of pour it into the mold and let it dry and everything, cut it up, and then we sell it. But and then she'll make like some extra bucks and she's super happy. And then usually by the time all of that sells and she's got some money, she forgets what she wanted in the first place, right?
But nice description, by the way.
Right, But it's funny how like, I don't know if she would have that same drive if she didn't see me doing it every day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, and I do think that there's a special level of like, as a mom entrepreneur, like obviously we want to be present with our kids. We want to be there and, spend all of our time with them, but kind of taking a little bit of time, 2 to 4 hours out of the day to work and try to make money and show them at home and have them working alongside you to know what
Yes.
this is. I think that's so valuable,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You see
yeah.
how much hard work we are putting in to create this business. So
Mhm.
my son started coding games at in the ninth grade, and he has coded now more than 6 games, and he wants to
Wow.
code his own game when he comes up and not work anywhere. They don't want to
That's
work anywhere.
amazing.
They want to
I
start their own business.
I love that. That's so cool. And it's amazing. I've talked to so many entrepreneurs and their kids are so similar. It's
Yeah.
like their kids, like they take initiative, they work hard for what they want. And
Yes.
like, I absolutely love that. Does he want to own his own like studio type of thing and kind of do like a more entrepreneur route? Or does he want to work and just build games for like a big company?
He wants to create his own games and market it by himself, not work under someone, but work
But
by
have his
himself.
own, yeah.
Seeing me creating blog, he has his own blog now. He writes like a journal in the blog daily, what he does in the coding thing. The coding
Yeah.
industry is so different. I don't understand anything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's happy doing what he is now, and he wants to learn gaming when he wants to join college. So
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, that is such a great tool. That was one of the things that my husband and I both said. We're like, all of our kids are going to learn how to code because just the way that the world is evolving, I think that's a skill that every child should be learning. By the time they're 18, they should be proficient in multiple different coding languages, just because of the way the world is going, especially with all this AI and like machine learning, which is complex coding. So to me, it's like, if they at least know the basics and they can code, software development level by the time they're 18, then at least they've got some time to learn the machine learning stuff to get into, all the new stuff that's happening. It's amazing. But yeah, like gaming is so cool. I see so many of that, like the indie games that are going out there. So what I would recommend, because so Twitch, are you familiar with Twitch?
Twitch, he's using something called Scratch. I'm not
called
sure.
Scratch. Okay. So Scratch is it's a program by like MIT. They developed this this program. So I'm actually familiar with Scratch. But I was gonna say, once he knows how to like code and everything and he's creating games, there's a social media platform called Twitch, which is very popular with gamers.
Okay,
and so
not sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, once he gets to that point where he's making games and selling them, he should go on there and talk to some affiliate, like kind of create an affiliate program. That would be my thoughts, at least, and give the game away to a whole bunch of different, gamers who can then promote it on their pages. Yeah,
I will tell him. Yes, he'll be excited.
But yeah, it's so cool how like these things affect our kids, and watching our kids kind of grow and get excited about these types of things. It is so amazing. So now, like, obviously, now you're able to send your kids to school and things like that, and you've got a team that does a lot of the work. But back then, when you didn't, and you had little kids and you didn't have your team and you had to do it all yourself, and I'm sure there was a long period of time where you were really still learning a bulk of what you needed to know to be successful. What did the day-to-day on that kind of look like?
Oh my God, it was so hectic. I had a toddler and I have to send him to school. He used to cry daily to go to school. So after I sent him to school, I used to have my daughter on my lap and work on my laptop. And it was a very old laptop. It takes a long time to work. So for one blog, it will take 5 days or 6 days or 7 days for me to write that blog itself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And only when she naps, as you're doing now, I used to do that time. So I didn't hire my first person until my business was 1 year old. Until then, I was doing everything by myself. So I hired the first person is the blog writer, because blog writing was taking a lot of time and I couldn't focus on other areas. So I hired her and she's still there with me now. She's become my editor now. So
yeah, that's awesome. And so when you're looking at hiring, like typically what's, for you, it was, this is my biggest pain point is it takes way too long to make these blogs. So I need to hire someone else too. And usually they recommend, like, when you're making that first hire is exactly that. Either what's the biggest pain point that we need to get off the plate. or what is a service that like I'm really struggling with that I need an expert in, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what was your first point in business where you made that kind of a hire, where you were like, this is something that I'm really struggling with, but I need an expert to kind of come in and take that on for me?
It was not like an expert. I hired a customer care agent because it was very difficult for me to talk with the customers when they are yelling and telling things. We
Yeah.
get very tense because it's our own business, and I was not able to be like a business person there because I was getting hurt when they are telling that your service is like this, like that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought hire should be a customer care executive who has experience in this, because we can't hire a fresher who will get more agitated when such calls come up, because
Yeah.
you know how courier delays and everything will be there for e-commerce. So I hired my first person was a customer care executive. So I don't repent that at all. It
Yeah.
took me like, I was making just $1,000 a month then. I had to pay for the customer care $200, but
Yeah.
it was okay because I moved that out of my plate, so it was
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's funny because I think a lot of times, especially when you start that hiring process, you're still sort of in the realm of like, I'm still not making my goal income, but I'm being spread too thin and I can't make my goal income because I either don't have enough time in the day to do it, or I don't have the resources or the ability to do it. And so I think a lot of times that's a hard pill for a lot of entrepreneurs to swallow, whether you're a mom entrepreneur or not. I think it's a hard pill to swallow, to like take some of that, pay cut to hire someone else to take on something, and just trust that by doing that in the future, you're going to be able to make more money and hit those goals.
Yeah, we can scale easily. Otherwise, we'll be stuck where we are if we don't delegate and outsource.
Yeah. And how would you feel? So I know another big thing that comes up a lot is, especially in entrepreneurship, and even as a mom entrepreneur, which is the balance in a marriage. So I know a lot of people, they kind of struggle with like, my husband doesn't really support me, or he doesn't think I can do this, or, or he's frustrated that I'm spending so much time trying to build an income, instead of watching the kids. But we're struggling financially, so I kind of have to do this. What would you say to those types of moms, and kind of what was your experience with, how did your husband support you in it, or not, and kind of how did you overcome that?
So I'm a doctor by profession. So my husband is also a doctor. So when I told I want to start this, he said, yes, please go on and do what you are loving it and what you're passionate about. But the whole family, like everybody was against. You are a doctor and you're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You earn so much, but you're going to sit at home and do this. You're going to sell kids food. It was a huge thing. But the only pillar of support was my husband and my mom initially, and my mother-in-law. So even the other family members weren't very happy that I'm ditching the medical career for something that is not going to give me any money anytime soon. I can't assure them that I will earn this much money. But when if I work, then they know that I can earn so much money. So he was a pillar of support, and until now also the same. So I didn't face any problems in that. But outside the home, my family, my relatives, friends, everybody were questioning me. So whenever I go to a family function, they'll ask me, "You have wasted a medical seat, and you're doing this." So it was very difficult, but I don't care about that right now. Because
now you're like, look at me, I'm successful.
Yes. Yeah. Initially, it was very tough. Everybody used to ask, why are you doing this? And I do what I'm loving. So I need to stay with my kids at home. So I need to do something from home. So I started it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And so, if there was a mom that was struggling with something like that, whether it's in-laws, whether it's family, friends, husband, whatever, what would you say to them? What would your advice be?
Just ignore them. It's very difficult to ignore, but that's what we have to do, because taking their words, we are not going to achieve anything, because it's going to add to the hurt, add to our humiliation, and just put us down. They are telling it to put us down. But when we succeed, everybody will come back to us. So even my clients are facing the same thing. So, but I tell
Yeah.
them, don't take anything to your brain. Just work
Yeah.
what you're doing. Ignore everything.
Mm.
And that is the only thing that will work. Other than that, nothing will work because they'll keep on telling. If we reply back, then that will get more. We will aggravate them and they'll keep on talking the same thing again and again. If we ignore,
Yeah.
they will take the message and leave. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's so great. So thank you for being here. Is there anything else that you kind of want to tell the audience, or anything else that you feel like, we didn't cover, but you want to make sure you covered?
I think you have covered a lot. You have
Yeah.
taken through my job. So that's really great. So I love being on this podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can people find you if they wanted help, building up their e-commerce store? Where can they find you to get your coaching?
So they can come to my website, www.ecomhema.com. And I have all my services listed down there. They can find me in Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube also.
Perfect. And we'll make sure we put the links in the description as well for this video. And thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. And, we'll make sure we have those links there for anybody interested.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you.